everyone. Filling in for the Batman statue collector as a guest unboxing and review for his channel. I'd really like to thank Chris, the Batman statue collector, for the opportunity to unbox and review the Iron Studios Batman Black Edition 1/3 scale. And here we go. The box is ridiculously huge. I actually had to move my desk to get this thing in my office here. So I'm expecting this to be a really large piece. This will actually be the largest piece that I own. It is roughly about 3 foot tall by about 2 foot wide almost, and 1.5 feet deep, and clocks in, I believe, just under 50 pounds. So it's going to go on a bottom shelf and stay there, because I am worried about the weight of it. So we'll see how it goes. But you can see here the box is well packaged. No styrofoam corners or anything, but kind of to be expected with a piece this big, I suppose. Box looks really cool. It's just the artwork. We'll get it out here. Let's see. Okay, so got that out of the shipper. Now to get the actual statue box out of the plastic wrap. And see here, it's a pretty plain box on the back and the sides. Actually, on the back here, there is an oval Batman symbol. So I'll turn that around so you can see just the yellow Batman emblem with the black bat in the middle. On top of the box, you can see it says Batman Black Edition by Ivan Reis. And then it's got his concept art on the front. So this is a picture of the concept art, not actually a picture of the statue itself, but actual art that inspired this. Got a nice little hole there, unfortunately, from delivery, but it is what it is. As long as the statue's fine, I don't care. So let's see. I'm just going to take to get this guy out of here. So the first thing, when you get the styrofoam packaging out, the concept art is in here, and unfortunately, because of shipping, mine looks like it could potentially be damaged, but maybe not. It is in a black plastic envelope, and it looks like maybe the artwork survived the poor handling from the shipping company. A little bit of a dent to it, but it's not torn or anything. It's something that'll flatten itself out if you were to mat and frame this. So there we go. And so here is the concept art piece by Ivan Reis. And so probably get this framed and hang it up next to, or somewhere in close proximity to, the statue itself. So nice little touch by Iron Studios. We do take off this. The cape is in this top section. It's well packaged. The styrofoam looks good. I don't see any damage to the cape. It's a big cape. Also in here are his fists. Each one is wrapped up really well. This is the fist that is just plain fist. Has kind of like these brass knuckles on it. Get that out here. You can see that. So that is one fist. other fist. Got a few options here, looks like. So it looks like this one is just another plain fist, closed fist with brass knuckles. We have got yet another fist. This is a right hand. It looks like that has the kryptonite ring. So if you want to use the hand with the kryptonite ring, that is an option with this, which I did not know and was not expecting. I thought only the kryptonite ring actually came with the blue and gray version as an exclusive. So I'm glad to know that that is not the case. Also in the top portion, we have the wings to the Joker gargoyle that it sits on. And this looks pretty nice. And then there's the other wing. So that is for the Joker gargoyle piece. Not sure what this is. This is, oh, this is a belt pouch. So that looks like this actually plugs into the utility belt. And then each individual belt pouch, or each individual, yeah, it's an individual pouch for the belt, which is really interesting. I had not considered that. Each of those pieces would be separate, and it's an interesting way of doing things. Here is a hand with a giant axe-looking batarang, and that's pretty cool. So I'm not sure what I'm going to display them with. I'm not sure if I'll use the kryptonite ring, or if I will use the Batman with the giant axe-looking batarang. So we'll see there. You know, if I'm going to do it with the kryptonite ring, you know, maybe I can convince my wife or something to get the 1/3 scale Superman statue. But then again, she might divorce me. So I think that's highly likely. Plus, I have no room left. This is really meant to be my last piece. And we'll see how that works out. So here is, we've got Batman's body. I gotta tell you, there's an incredible amount of detail actually on this that my shitty camera probably will not pick up. But a review is coming, so I'll try to get some close-ups later on that show a little bit more of the detail on the body. But the suit has great detail. Body looks really great. Also got on this side, it looks like the extra bust for the unused head. So this will be for the unused portrait. Nice little addition by Iron Studios to include something like that. I think that is a very classy move. I wish that more statues had that option. Because we all know it's hard to sometimes store extra portraits that you're not currently using. So I'm going to go ahead and take this guy out of there. That is very heavy. That is solid. This thing is heavy. Very heavy. So let me set it down where it belongs in its home. Go to your home, statue. And there you go. There is that piece of it. I'm not sure that I quite understand how the Joker gargoyle was going to fit in there yet, but I will figure it out. I do not see any instructions to this. Could have missed them. Strong possibility. But I have not seen any instructions yet to this point. So let's see what else we've got in here. This is that Joker gargoyle bust. It does have a little bit of like the graffiti spray paint, which is green on it. But that doesn't look bad. So this is what I was most excited to see on this piece. Portrait looks really good actually, so I'm pretty impressed with Iron Studios paint job on this. This is sort of the closed mouth portrait, and It's definitely got a 5 o'clock shadow there. The black looks really good. And it looks like maybe that just pops off of there, but again, I'm not sure. I'll figure that out sort of off camera and figure out how these, yeah, it does just move around. Maybe you just pull that guy right off of there, but I'll figure that out. And because the mouths are interchangeable, you can have the head, the portrait that looks up. There's a second portrait as well that looks down. It's got the angry portrait on it with the teeth, and then that one would look down if you're on the statue. Both of them have the same 5 o'clock shadow, so no difference there from that perspective. So we'll get this guy put together, and I'll be back with a review. Alright guys, so a quick review for the Batman statue collector. Chris, thanks again for allowing me to conduct this review for the channel. I apologize if my camera is not focusing at the moment, so apologies for that. I'm trying to get some better light, and we'll manage that. So initial thoughts on the Iron Studios Black Suit Edition 1/3 scale piece. It really is a great piece. Iron Studios has done a really good job. It has great detail both in the base and in the body of Batman. You can see sort of the texturing here on just the knee and then around to the thigh. The utility belt looks really good, and then the armor itself, it's got dings and it's got scrapes and it's got chunks out of it. You can tell this is a suit that has been through a war, and you know, it looks really good. That's a shoulder pad right there, and the paint on it is really good. You can see that on the gauntlets here, again, more scratches, definitely more battle damage. This is the fist with the grapnel gun, and so there you can see that, and that is done really well there. So good strong magnet. Now the hands, they do move around a little bit, but that guy's not coming out of there. I have to pull on him pretty hard to get that to loosen up at all. So the hands have a little bit of give to them, and that's okay. I don't think that's a problem. Like I said, it's a pretty strong magnet. And then same with this guy up here. Hand has a little bit of movement to it, but again, it's a really strong magnet. I gotta tug pretty hard to get that thing out of there. All the pieces and parts fit really well together, so no problems with putting them together. The cape is pretty cool. So you know, it's you can see there's a lot of fine texturing and detail in the cape. I was a little worried that the dirt would look a little bit too much, but they actually went pretty light on the dirt and the mud, so it looks, actually has a pretty good realistic dusty effect to it. It doesn't look overdone, it doesn't look cheesy. So the paint on this is really good. I do apologize, I'm not able to actually turn on the light right now, so they did send an adapter, but where my outlets are and where I have the statue position just won't reach right now, so I'm going to try to find a way to get an extension cord and hook all that up. So my apologies, I won't be able to show you at least the bat symbol light up tonight, but it is a really cool effect. This piece is just held on there with a magnet. So to put this guy together, he actually does come with quite a few little pieces. So this little guy is an extra piece, and it's just a piece for decorative purposes to the signal, and then this piece is the same thing, and then his boot rests on that piece. The back boot has a really large key that goes sort of an angle down in. I assume that's just done that way from a weight perspective. The Joker gargoyle is really cool. It's really heavy. So I will warn people, you know, if you're on the fence about this piece, I wouldn't be. I personally love it. I think it has great detail. Again, you can kind of see all the texturing. There's the other leg, some more of the utility belt, and just some of the armor and the way that it appears. The face looks really good, and I apologize, the light up above that is really distorting my camera, so give me a second. I'm going to turn that off. There we go. So I turned that light off, and now you can see that's a little bit better. He does have a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, but it's not so much that it detracts from the portrait or looks bad in any way, shape, or form. So you should note that there is some plastic to this piece. I don't think it's a lot, but it is certainly there. For example, the wings on the Joker, those do come as separate pieces, and then they just plug into little holes in the back here, but those are plastic. They're sculpted really well. I don't think it's an issue. So if you guys remember, the Sideshow Skeletor piece has a decent amount of plastic to it. For the same reason, there's a lot of detailed piece on his armor and stuff, and it's still one of the better pieces that Sideshow has ever done. I love that Skeletor piece. I love this Iron Studio piece. Plastic regardless. So there is some plastic, it's not a lot. There's a few of these pieces that actually just plug in. These little guys, it came with 3 of these. It doesn't really add or detract anything from the statue as a whole, but those do just sort of plug in right there. And it's a little it's a plastic piece. Now these ones are not. These other ones are sculpted, but this one, the little pieces that come with it are definitely plastic, and you know, they fit in there. So there we go. It's just a few pieces of the rebar. It doesn't really add anything or detract anything from the statue. You could probably leave them off and not ever know that they were missing. The utility belt. All of the pouches are separate pieces. So, and they fit in really nicely. No problems there. Strong magnets as well. Let's see, what else is plastic? The batarang is a plastic piece. Again, I can understand with a piece that large and the points and things, why you'd be concerned about that breaking, so that piece is plastic. And then the cape itself is actually, I believe, a plastic. It's a lighter material for sure. I don't know if it's ABS or what it is, but it is definitely some type of plastic. I don't think that it is a sculpted resin or a polystone for sure. It's not heavy enough to be that, but it does look nice. I don't think that detracts from the piece at all. You are getting what looks to be a very good production piece that mirrors what you see for the original concept piece and the prototype, so I don't really have any complaints with that. And there are some different switch out arms or hands, so you could pull this guy out of here, and like I said, that it takes a significant tug to get that off of there, so I'm not worried about it falling. Another plain hand if you want to go with the plain hand look, and it fits in there really good. And again, there's some movement, but again, it's in there really secure. Everything fits well together. And that's it. I mean, you know, the sculpt is fantastic. The options for the portraits are fantastic. I've not figured out yet how to pull off the portrait faces. I know it can be done. I'm sure it's on there with a really good magnet, and right now I am just too tired to mess with it, and I don't want to make a mistake and drop it, so I'm not going to mess with it anymore. And I'm sure you could just pull it right off of there, but I just don't feel like it at the moment. This is the portrait that looks up. There's also the portrait that looks down, and it is sitting up here, so on the extra bust. It looks good too, and I'll swap that out on the statue for you guys here in just a second. Also, the batarang hand is able to be switched out as well, so that's another pretty decent pull there. And you can go with a just regular closed fist, or you can, if we want to go the Batman vs Superman route, got the kryptonite ring, which looks pretty good. So any way that you wanted to do that there, you certainly could. The portrait itself, really strong, really heavy portrait. That thing is definitely fully sculpted. This is very heavy. So here he is with the other portrait that looks down. Again, I apologize, my camera is not the best, so but you can see, there we go, there's a little bit better detail. Again, it's got the 5 o'clock shadow, but it's not so much that it detracts from the piece at all or looks bad. The teeth are done really well. It's a really good paint job on this. Iron Studios did an excellent job with the paint application. I don't see a lot of spillover in areas or anything like that. So, of course, a lot of it's black, but still, I don't have any concerns about the way that this piece has been painted at all. The skin tone looks good. The teeth look good. The white eyes really look good. Yeah, again, great sculpt. Really great piece. I'm really happy with it. Sorry, you know, this isn't the greatest review in the world. One of my first ones of these, so apologies for being a noob at reviews. But hopefully you guys get something out of this. If you're on the fence about this piece, for me personally, I wouldn't be. I think it's a fantastic piece. Again, it's got some plastic. I don't think that detracts from this piece in any way. I understand why they would do that on some of these pieces, especially the little breakable pointy pieces, and the cape, just from a weight perspective, using a lighter material to make sure that it's balanced correctly. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Chris, we'll see you in the Bat Cave, and I really appreciate the opportunity to do the review. You guys have a great one.